Top stories at this hour: a shining example of land restitution in Limpopo, and the U.S. consults its partners on Syria. Good evening. With the news at 7, I'm Lulu Gabu. A land claim resolved today in Limpopo will see the claimants continuing with the game lodge and farming operations on the 11 multi-million rand farms handed over to them. The Mashishimale community outside Phalaborwa will be assisted by the previous owners. The community lodged a successful claim after being dispossessed of their ancestral land in 1922. Rural Development and Land Reform Deputy Minister Lechisa Tsinoli, who attended today's handover, describes it as one of the shining examples of land restitution in the country.
It's a huge area, and it used to be used as a game farm, but there are parts of the land that are also orange farming, for example. Very interesting work that is already underway. This is a very important project for us. It's one of those that we think is successful.
Public Enterprises Minister Malusi Gigaba has criticized tenderpreneurs at the Youth Day celebrations at George in the Southern Cape. He addressed students at the Nelson Mandela University campus. Gigaba says the obligation of the youth should be to study and not to rely on tenders as a way to a better life.
Your first and most important responsibility is to study, to get educated, and to make education a fashion. Something to boast about, something to pride yourselves about.
The president of the African People's Convention, APC, Themba Godi, says as long as poor South Africans continue to be poor and rich people continue to be richer, there is still a long way to go before people can claim liberation. It says the freedom that people got after 1994 should benefit all, not a few people. He was speaking during the Youth Day commemoration at Zone 14 in Sebokeng at the Community Hall in the Vaal this afternoon. Godi says many poor people are still facing challenges of hunger, inequality, service delivery and unemployed youth. A Limpopo female tavern owner has shot and killed 2 women and injured 4 others at Nzako village outside Tzaneen. This after community members had protested outside the tavern, demanding that the owner sells liquor to minors as well as adults. Angry community members have also assaulted the owner and burned down her house. The injured, including the tavern owner, have been taken to hospital. Police spokesperson Renelle Otto explains.
They want her removed from the area because she is not serving minors any liquor in her tavern. They approached the tavern this afternoon and they seriously damaged all the things inside. She then retaliated by firing some shots, and 2 women were killed and they died on the scene. 4 other people were injured. The members of the community then severely assaulted the woman, the tavern owner. She was also taken to hospital in a police vehicle in a very critical condition, and she's currently in hospital.
And finally, further afield, the U.S. State Department says it's consulting with its international partners about the next steps towards a Syrian-led political transition as called for under UN Security Council resolutions. This follows a suspension of the United Nations observer missions in Syria have suspended operations because of the increasing violence over the last 10 days. The head of the UN observer mission, General Robert Mood, says the observers will not be conducting patrols and will stay in their locations until further notice. The BBC's Jim Muir reports.
The announcement came just a day after General Mood had rung the alarm bells by warning publicly that the escalation of violence in the past 10 days had limited the ability of the observers to do their job of monitoring, verifying and reporting what was going on and trying to foster dialogue. Announcing a suspension of their activities, he said it was a high-risk situation in which the parties on the ground were unwilling to seek a peaceful transition and were trying to improve their military positions, while innocent civilians were being killed every day.